All right, we're live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another virtual 1 Million Cups presentation. My name is Caleb Talley. I am the Director of Events for Startup Junkies, one of the organizers here for 1 Million Cups Bentonville. For those of you that are new to 1 Million Cups, 1 Million Cups is a product of the Kauffman Foundation with the idea that most of the community's problems can be solved over a million cups of coffee coming together, even if it's virtual, to talk about what entrepreneurs are doing and how we can give back to our entrepreneurial community. That's something we're really excited about here and something that we're passionate about. Something that we would do in normal times, and for an in-person 1 Million Cups, I would thank the Exchange for letting us have our 1 Million Cups presentation there. I would thank Heroes Coffee for providing coffee, but none of those things apply today. But I do really want to take a moment to thank Brian Fitton of Go Rogue X, because without all of his help on this platform, for setting this up for us, for doing all the behind the scenes work, you don't see him, but he's doing a whole lot of work to help us make sure that we have a smooth running virtual 1 Million Cup. So I just want to thank Brian for that and give him the credit he deserves. Today we have Michael Silver of the Drive-In Dudes. He is the Drive-In Dude. Michael has an incredible story of having to pivot essentially in the midst of the COVID crisis and having done so incredibly well. And I'm excited for him to share his story with you. So, Michael, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Cool. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate you having me. Hello, Bentonville, Arkansas, and the World Wide Web. My name is Michael Silver. I am the founder and co-owner of Drive-In Dudes. Let's see, let me get my slideshow going here. What is the Drive-In Dude and what is a pop-up movie tour? So we put on pop-up drive-in entertainment using our giant inflatable screens. So the first series that we did and put together was the pop-up movie tour. Since then, we've done some movies, some concerts, some wrestlings, some live premieres, and even more. We also created and pioneered a delivery food platform called togofox.com that we built, and it is very scalable. So we're able to actually bring this elsewhere if we wanted to. So here's a little video here that kind of shows you an example about what we do. Cool. So that's kind of our little sizzle or promo reel, if you will. Here's another a picture from one of our events. You can see the big inflatable screen here that we've got, and then all the cars here pulling in. This was from the Garth Brooks video concert that we did. So given that we're doing pop-up drive-in entertainment, we're not going to the nice drive-ins that have the hills that you can pull up on, that are perfectly done, that have the speakers in the poles that you might have seen at your physical standing drive-ins, but we have to essentially come in and create everything we need. So this is at the Pensacola Fairgrounds here. We actually had to come in and stripe the parking lot, and this was the first one we've done. So we'll do it better and differently next time, but you can see that it's important for us to get these angles so that people can actually view and see. These spots are oversized so that people have enough space between them, so that if they wanted to sit right outside their car, then they can. Here's a beautiful drone shot from one of our sold out shows. The first weekend that we were there, you can see kind of the cars parking in. We get really, really nice sunsets there. So it proves for just beautiful pictures. So why did we do this? Why are we doing drive-in shows? Why am I not traveling and doing concerts and stuff like I used to? Well, COVID-19 happened. My main business for the past 8 years has been providing entertainment for college campuses. Now, what that means is that we do dance parties, we do 5K runs, all kind of different things specifically for colleges. So the check comes from the college and the college books us. 40% of our business was done in April and 40% of it was done in August. As many of you know, colleges shut down in April, which means that we didn't have any events. And then they weren't really booking for August because they weren't really working. So on that one day on March 12th, I had about $200,000 worth of show cancellations. And I looked at the team and I said, we've got to do something. We were in a complete entertainment desert here in my town. And I'm sure that you guys probably experienced the same. There was just nothing going on. As many things that I do, I was inspired by Walt Disney. This is a picture on the right of, I think, the moment at March 6th at 2:03 p.m. And I said, dude, we should do a drive-in somehow. As I was sitting at the Sci-Fi Drive-In Dine-In Theater at Hollywood Studios. So after that, I went and bought a ton of domain names about drive-in stuff because this is right before everything kind of happened and I saw it coming. When did we do it? Our first event was actually scheduled for March 29th. March 29th is when we had an event scheduled in Alabama. And the day before the event, the governor put a complete shutdown and basically shut us down. So the 2 weeks before that and the 2 weeks after that, I got a hard no from just about everyone with any amount of land that might potentially work for our event. And then I finally was able to convince our fairgrounds here in Pensacola to say yes, to take a shot. It took me several meetings. It took me buying new insurance and doing all kinds of things to basically get the green light to do it. So I got it. We did it. We sold out 12 showings in a row that first weekend. And since then, we've done 100+ movie showings in 4 different locations. I find it important to share both the good, the bad, and the ugly when I'm doing presentations. So that way you kind of, too many people just get up here and talk about how awesome they are and how awesome everything is with their company. And that's just not realistic. I'm here to tell you that not everything is good. Not everything is ugly. Some stuff is just bad, but this was the good stuff. So we did the Garth Brooks drive-in video concert at 2 different locations. We were one of very few pop-ups to actually be able to get it. And I got it because of just persistence. I found the company who was putting on the concert and I started emailing and calling and, we got it. So it worked out where it was really cool. I took a gamble on a new ticketing system. And to get into that a little more, I've used every ticketing platform from Ticketmaster to Ticketfly, eTix, Eventbrite, etc. And I have good and bad to say about each of them, but the bad is that all of them charge fees. I'm sure you know that when you go to buy a ticket, if it's a $10 ticket, you're going to end up paying $15, $16. And that money most of the money goes straight to the ticketing company. And however, there is sometimes promoters will add what we call rebates onto those ticket fees that would then go straight to the promoter. So I said, I don't want to have to pay fees if we can avoid it. So I found this WordPress plugin that I bought for $100, and it enables us to sell tickets at a no fee situation, which means that we were able to add in fees to help cover our costs. So we were able to add in a venue fee. We were able to add in a concession fee, a delivery fee, and different things like that. We've now tried to change our pricing structure for these upcoming events we have where it's no fee, $25 flat plus tax, and hoping that kind of makes people want to buy it a little more. The good was that we bought probably the last remaining screens in the country. I got the last 30-foot and 40-foot from the manufacturer here. We created a ton of jobs. Amidst the pandemic, I believe we hired about 50 people, and we had them working an average of about 26 hours a week. We did get that down to a core team of probably about 15 to 20 now at one event, doing parking, managing, etc. We were able to get some national sponsors, everything from a brownie brittle to a pork rind company, and I'm trying to work a deal with Apple Pay right now. We had about 30,000 attendees come out, which is in the span of a 2-month period or less than 2-month period during a pandemic. I thought that was just pretty great. In order to make the event happen, I had to connect with the local county commissioner. Now, I haven't done that before, so that was to me a good thing, was that I was able to pick up and cold call my county commissioner and say, hey, I'm trying to do an event amidst the pandemic. I need your support. And they gave me unwavering support. They wrote a letter so that I could get the Disney movies that I needed. And with their support, I think it really helped really kick this thing off the ground. Another good thing was that we acquired and paid for assets. I now own 5 different screens. We own projectors. We own speakers and blowers and all kinds of just different gear that we were able to acquire and pay for using these. As I mentioned before, the To Go Fox platform, we're now talking to several other venues about launching that in their stadiums or in their parking lots to do pop-up food delivery. As we were I found myself managing a team remotely, and it was very hard to manage them. So Basecamp was a project management software that I found hugely helpful. I would highly recommend that you guys check that out if you're managing a team, whether that be remotely or even locally. We also got national news coverage from ABC News, ABC World News Live. So I did an interview with David Wright, and that was just really cool. I've been doing events a very, very long time, and to get a national news story after just 2 weeks of this one was really cool. So the bad, there was failures. I'm not going to lie. We had hiccups. When you're starting something new and you go something totally new, I hadn't even ever been to a drive-in movie theater before I went to this one. And I'll let that sink in that I hadn't seen one. I had been to them at Disney World. I had seen it on Grease. I had seen it on movies, but I just did it. This is the second time that I've started doing an event series without any experience. We got hired to do a foam party at the world's largest nightclub, and I hadn't even ever been to a foam party before. I know how to do it. I've got the right teams. And when I put my mind to it and I figure out I'm going to do something, I just do it. So there was a partnership fallout by the guy that we hired the first week to bring the screens and bring the projectors. And he thought he had us. He said, well, where are you going to get another screen? Where are you going to get another screens? And you can't do this without me. And so that was kind of part of the good, was that we found the screens and were able to make it happen. The bad was that low sales need quick decisions. Not all shows sell out. Not all shows even sell well. When you're in the entertainment business, you really tout those sold outs. Hey, we sold out. Here's this big sold out banner. We sold out. Everything's great. And you really push those moments because crowds bring crowds. But when you have those moments where you're not selling enough tickets, you've got to look at it and say, okay, it's this time. I have sold this many tickets. I need to cut so that I can kind of stop the bleeding. And then we just had some bad deals. We had some security costs that really ate us up that we weren't planning on. We had some agency costs that we really weren't planning on that didn't work out. And then there's just some ugly. I don't want to call this as like, this isn't like detrimental, bad. This is just ugly. So I mentioned the new ticketing platform. Well, the new ticketing platform has a longer processing time for payments. So while I go and sell out all these events on the new ticketing platform, then I have to wait 2 weeks to get paid. And that I was not prepared for. That was just ugly. That's the only way to put it. It was just ugly, but we made it through. Another ugly thing was that we just had some hiccups with new locations. We went to a location in Gainesville, for example, where they told us that all the lights could be off and that every light would be off. And then we get there and there's an emergency light that won't turn off right above the movie screen. Not reassessing every week. So when you've got multiple locations going on and you're so busy and you're scrambling and you're looking to the future and you're trying to get new dates going on, I just made the mistake of not looking at on Monday morning after the weekend saying, okay, this was our sales, this was our number. Should we do this again? How should we? I made that critical error of not keeping my finger on the pulse of knowing exactly what was going on every time. We've paid for that, and hopefully we don't have to do that again. There's just not enough time in the day. There's just not enough time. I got calluses on my hands because I've been moving inflatables and I've just been working very hard. So that's just been ugly. Spending all this cash, burning cash has been ugly. As I mentioned, it takes a lot to get these things up and going. One of the 40-foot screens cost over $20,000 alone if you can even get one, and they have to be paid upfront via bank wire, and you have to beg them on the phone to not sell it to the guy from Canada that says he's sending us money. Facebook shut our pop-up movie tour page down 3 times or 2 times and told me if I tried it again, then they would shut down my page. So that was ugly because we didn't have a Facebook page to promote the pop-up movie tour was coming. So the only way around it was to create an overarching company, if you will, which would be the Drive-In Dudes. So I think it was kind of a blessing in disguise because the pop-up movie tour only does movies, but the Drive-In Dudes, we do drive-in concerts, we do drive-in entertainment. So I think that overall it kind of helped because it forced us to create more of an overarching brand that can grow with us as we grow. So what now? Where are we? What do we do now? We've taken some time and regrouped. Unfortunately, we decided that it was a good time to take a little break right as the bars were closing here in Pensacola. So we essentially shut down the same time everybody else shut down. Whereas maybe if we had held on another week longer, when the bars closed, people would have been filling our theaters. But as you guys know, run a business, you just got to make the best decision that you can at the time. And sometimes it's wrong, but hindsight is 2020, and you just can't get hung up on it. We've got some custom creations that we've been working on, including a custom inflatable that I'll show you on the next slide. We're working on our direct sales strategy. And by that, I mean working with folks to do direct bookings. So, for example, the Birmingham Zoo I'm talking to. The Birmingham Zoo is interested in hosting a drive-in in their parking lot on Mondays and Tuesdays. They don't know how to do it, and they need someone like me. So what I'm trying to do is get the word out there that we are the ones. If you want to book a drive-in, then you can call us to book a drive-in. We're doing more concerts. We're doing more locations. I'm working on a July and August tour, and we're trying to do something that's a little more than movies. So on the more than movies and custom creations part, this brings me to our custom inflatable screen that we had made. Now, every Tom, Dick, and Harry inflatable company has a small movie screen they rent. And I found that as we were getting into it. So, hey, yeah, we work with our local guy. They do our movies for $500 or something. And it's a little screen, and a guy goes and drops it off and leaves. Well, we knew that we needed to find some way to differentiate ourselves. And we've created the only custom screen with you can see there's a hole in the middle here. And so this is what we call our tunnel screen. And our tunnel screen can be used for a few different things. It can be used for a sponsor to seamlessly walk out of the middle, introduce a movie, say, hey, enjoy the movie. We're using it for our Friday Night Fright features, which is where we'll have our scare actors running out of the tunnel. We're showing the Purge election year, and we've got some pretty cool theatrics planned, including some plant cars and people dressed in some awesome masks. We've got a partnership with a Halloween supply company, so they supply us all the masks for our scare actors, if you will. So from a more than movies perspective, we're trying to create a more immersive experience. And if that means playing the Purge and having some people run out in crazy Purge masks, or playing Texas Chainsaw Massacre and having some folks run around with chainsaws, then that's what it's going to look like. But we're doing our first test on Friday. And again, you've just got to throw, I say this often, you've just got to throw a bunch of stuff at the wall, see what sticks. So with that, I just want to say thanks for having me. If I definitely have some time for some questions, and would love to kind of go further. But thanks for the time. I really appreciate it. I hope I didn't go too long.
That was perfect, Michael. Great presentation, and super awesome to hear about what you're working on, because it sounds like a ton of fun and something I'm definitely interested in. I'll kick us off with the questions because there's a few seconds delay between us and Facebook. But I'm curious. I feel like once all this happened, everybody kind of realized, especially the people that have, that they've lost their drive-in theaters in their town, kind of realized like, holy crap, I wish we still had that. Do you think once things kind of go back to normal that people will hang on to some of these elements of entertainment, like the drive-ins, the pop-up concerts and stuff like that?
I do. I have a real pulse on the industry given my involvement. I am a talent agent with Degi Booking. So we're the largest buyer for the U.S. military, and we have the largest buyer for college entertainment as well. So I kind of have some insight that, you know, nobody's really expecting to see tours come back until late 2021 at best. And I think you're going to find that it's going to be a different architecture of the land. You know, you have right now, if a band wants to get big, they play some small venues, and then they kind of upstream there. I bet everybody has a story about where they saw a big band at a small venue. I'm fearful that we're going to lose all those small venues, that we're going to lose most of the small venues. And it's like it's a catch-22. You have to have a band, you have to have venues to have bands, and you have to have bands to have venues. So I think that I'm nervous about the music industry as a whole. I do think that, say tomorrow there's a vaccine and they put it in the air and everybody is now clear of COVID, I still think that this has legs, because I'll tell you, my parties are, like I said, very seasonal. August, April. So what I've been trying to do over the past few years is I look at my capacity. I have 12 months where I'm an event company, and I'm really I can do 10 shows at once in April and August, but I don't do any in this month. So what can I add to my arsenal that books in this month, And so I think that, you know, the drive-in movies is something that will book more than just those months. And I think that even from say the drive-ins don't go anymore, open air cinema is still a thing. People still do movies in the park, and I'll have the biggest, baddest screens in all the locations to do it. And they'll all hopefully be paid off by then.
And we have a comment from Chase Taylor, said, "Crushing it, the true definition of an entrepreneur, #innovation."
Thanks, Chase. Chase is a long friend of mine. Chase and I have been doing concerts together for probably 7 or 8 years now. He used to run a club in Biloxi, Mississippi. So thanks, Chase. That's cool how it pops up.
And Brian asked, what are your thoughts of franchising this idea?
So I have a lot of thoughts on it. I've talked to a couple lawyers on it. Franchising is very expensive, and I need to prove the concept. So I can say, here's our financials, here's the financial model. The franchising aspect of it that I have looked into is, you know, I've got, for my parties, I have different bases set up, if you will. I've got a storage unit with the base and guys up in Richmond. I've got a storage unit with a base and guys in Tennessee. I've got a storage unit and a base of guys in Illinois. And so from a franchising perspective, ideally, it would be great if somebody buys the screens and says, I want this region. But I'm kind of I don't want to say I'm kind of just a doer. So we're working on kind of rolling that out to the different regions as we go. So hopefully I can get when I get a booking in Chicago, then I can move a screen there and it makes sense. But yes, I have definitely thought a lot about franchising the idea, especially now that I don't think that the drive-in entertainment's not going anywhere. So somebody who has the land and wants to do an 8-month, 12-month pop-up or, you know, drive-in theater, they're not going to go build a billboard drive-in screen, especially in the Southeast where we've got hurricanes. They're going to need to work with someone like me, even at a point of, hey, we want to consult with you to set our own up and then see y'all later. You know, that's something that we offer as well. It's just figuring out what this beast looks like. You know, it's like I feel like I get a different call every day. That's a different pivot.
Your sister's watching also. She wanted you to know. I'm curious, you know, how do you navigate because I have no idea what that process looks like. How do you navigate the process for, you know, licensings for movies? You know, how do you do the permissions for, you know, the older movies and, you know, bringing in probably a new release at some point in time? Like, how does that work? That's
a great question. And one that I'm kind of very passionate about. Licensing is really tough. There's 2 agencies that do it, or 2 licensing companies that do it for things that we do, and they know they're the only show in town. So my lady has been great to deal with, but unfortunately the movie studios will only license us so far out. So we're a pop-up, yes, but it would be amazing to say, hey, next month a month from now we're gonna play this. But the furthest I can usually get them to give me licensing out is about 2 weeks. And that's if I'm lucky. For a while it was like I'd get licensing Friday for the next week, and trying to do the events on the Friday, get the ones for the next week on sale and promoting them. It's very tough. So luckily this time with our they allow me to go 2 weeks. So I've got the next 2 weeks launched in Pensacola and actually on sale. So we're really hoping that with the 2 week lead time, we're able to kind of sell some more tickets. But from a licensing standpoint, you've got, I've been trying to get the movie Top Gun for 3 months because we're from where the Blue Angels are, and our air show got canceled. Well, I got turned down, and then there's folks playing it in town, so you have to compete with the people who are doing unauthorized showings, and so we do it right. That means it's more expensive for us to do things. That means we're on their terms, and so you just kind of have to navigate it. I wish that there was a way I could call up Paramount or Disney and say, hey, this is what we do. I want to play your movies. Can you give me a blanket approval, and I'll send you a check after I play it? I have not been able to get the right person on the phone for that, but that's kind of my pipe dream idea.
What will the winter months look like up drive-ins?
Sure, that's a good question. Given this is my first, our first iteration of it, luckily we're in the Southeast, so we're not dealing with a bunch of snow. I'm a little worried about what the hurricane months look like more than winter, because these inflatables, think of it as a big sail. So when wind comes up, wind and rain, weather is what killed a lot of drive-ins. If it's going to rain or it looks like rain, people are going to go slow on buying tickets because they say, well, I don't want to be stuck in my car. I might want to get out and use the bathroom, and weather killed the drive-in. And so, we just announced, and now there's a tropical something popped up. And so it's the winter months, hopefully are busy. You've got I've actually got some hold dates in some cities that want to do. Luckily, you've got Halloween movies with our tunnel screen. Hopefully, that is just booked every day of October because people love that. They want to have scare actors come out and do that. We're also doing a lot of Christmas movies as well. Luckily, the winter months seem to be kind of hot for showing movies. And I find that a lot of municipalities that I've talked to, they say, yeah, we usually show this or this here, but we can't do it that way. And our provider, who just rents the screen to us, they're not as full turnkey as you. They can't sell the tickets. They can't do the parking. They can't do all that. And so I think the winter months are hopefully going to be very busy for us.
Robert said, you said you have regional groups, and you mentioned some project management software earlier. How are you actually handling execution of that? Top Gun is the best.
That's great. So the regional groups I have worked with me for kind of a long time. We took a while to find them. And as I mentioned from my college events, they do my college events. And so these guys, just as much as me, if not more, rely on the seasonality of our business. We go our busy August and September and kind of make it through until April. And then, April is when we kind of get really busy, and everybody's working. Everybody lost. I had one gig in April versus, usually I'll do 10 in one day. So the project management software that I'm using is called Basecamp. I highly recommend it. You can get a free trial. I describe it like Slack plus Dropbox plus Microsoft To Do plus because that's all that combined into one. It is a little expensive at $100 a month, but for me, it's worth it because I'm not paying that on Office and I'm not paying that to multiple different, Slack so I can search things or Dropbox or all that. So it's for collaboration purposes, it's been really great. The other way of kind of managing the team, over the years, I've found that it's important that you do regular trainings with them, especially because we don't work them all the time, So we've got to bring them in, do the training, feed them, do something nice for them, make sure that they know they're appreciated, and then send them on so they know they go to our shows and they want to do a good job. Because the events that I've done before this, these guys got to go in early. They got to cover the walls in plastic so paint doesn't get anywhere, and then they got to do everything from setup to mopping up at the end of the night. So the guys that I have, I would be nothing without my team, because I'm just like one dude with a bunch of crazy ideas, willing to go for it.
Rachel said she moved 2 of her clients from event platforms to WordPress ticketing plugins last year, and the streamlined process is well worth the effort. Stick with it. Wes said, what about a paint party with the vaccine instead of paint? That's a thought. Rachel also asked, do you use a radio channel for audio or just really big speakers?
Yep. Rachel, good call on the WordPress plugin. It has been a game changer for me even from a reporting perspective. I'm not sure. We use Metric to do our reporting because the reporting through WooCommerce and Takara isn't great. But we use Metric, and again, it's you pay for it monthly, but you're not paying. You get to take in that extra fee from the customers to pay for it. So my fee was contracted with another company for my paint events at $4.50 a ticket. So that's $4.50 that gets charged to the customer, that adds money in their mind that, oh, this is a $15 ticket, it's a $20 ticket, or however much that I don't see. So I have to fight that fight to make that sell for it to go to somebody else. But now it's come back to us. To answer your speaker's question, it's FM radio. So it all goes through your FM. Think of it like a pirate radio station. But the phone apps don't work. So some folks walk up, oh, well, I want to turn this off. I'll have FM radio on my phone. Actually doesn't work because those FMs triangulate your location and say, okay, this is what we think should be close to you. This is the station we think that you should be picking up on this. And it doesn't even take into account my little 1 mile or 500 feet radius FM. We also do again, we found that some people, you can sit next to somebody in your car and right next to another one, and theirs won't work. So rather than giving refunds like we had to a couple times the first week because of people's bad FM radios, we bought a bunch of boom boxes, and now we rent a boom box for $5. You give us your ID, and it's like, it's kind of just more, rather than giving a refund, now I get to make an extra $5.
That's awesome. Morgan said, this is so inspiring and exciting. What's your favorite movie?
It's tough. I have a few favorites. Catch Me If You Can is one of my favorites. We haven't played that yet. I just don't know how big it is. Believe it or not, I'm not that big of a movie buff. I find that it's really funny that I get really heavily involved in things that I did not take an interest in before. For example, I started playing in like a heavy metal rock and roll band when I was like 18 years old. Before that, I didn't like heavy metal. I started doing these paint parties where they're electronic music. I didn't like electronic music. I had never been to the drive-in, so it's like from a movie perspective, I have kind of a casual relationship with movies. But Catch Me If You Can, I would say, it's got to be one of my faves.
You're really good at new things, it seems like.
Or maybe I'm just crazy enough to go out and try it. One of the two, either one I'm okay with.
I know that there is a concert in drive-ins this weekend, similar to the Garth Brooks one. Blake Shelton. Yeah, I was just curious if y'all were carrying that one.
I'll tell you how that works, and it's pretty interesting. So when I saw it announced, I was like, man, how did they get 300 drive-ins to sign on to this? There's no way, they could convince them to give them the money to buy the show, or, to convince the drive-in people to give them any money. So I'm like, how do they do it? So what they do, their model is they hire Blake Shelton, they pay Blake Shelton or whatever. I don't know how they pay him, if it's a split or something. And then they've worked a deal with me and 299 or 300 other drive-in locations. They say, hey, we sell all the tickets. We take all, we're going to sell all the tickets. We're going to send you door staff. so that basically we can see you're not letting people in for free. And you just set up your screen and play the movie. So we act almost as like the venue. They sell the tickets. We get a cut of the tickets. And so it's like, it's really great for us because we can use it as an anchor event. And we can say, okay, they have a concert this day. We'll go here and then do movies around it. Granted, again, this is really new. So it actually made me feel better starting to work with such a larger company because I watched them figure it out as well. And not everything was perfect for them. They had to figure X and Y and Z out. And I'm like, okay, this is okay. But, they had that concert and it grossed, I did the math, that concert grossed almost $6 million. And so I looked at that and I'm like, so now I have an idea that I'm going to be pitching to them to provide some entertainment that they can hopefully then stream out to their 300 plus venues. And I'm trying to work on an exclusive deal to license an old concert so that I can play it get them to play it. But again, I have a crazy idea. Like I have 1,000 crazy ideas for every good one, at least. And, that was kind of my latest. And, like the only thing I have to lose is time on chasing down some of those things. And there's not enough time in the day, but if I spend an hour on something that can produce a Garth Brooks concert and then a Blake Shelton concert, then it's worth it.
George said, have you thought about running 2 screens at once and rearranging the parking to accommodate more seating, more money?
Let me see if I can pull up a picture. You are correct. And you saw there was a lot of drive-ins that started with 1 screen and then they added another screen because they said, hey, they said the same thing I did. Say, hey, I've got all my people here. It will be nothing for us to add another screen. So actually the core and the bones of what the pop-up movie tour does is we do 2 screens, simultaneous showings, and double features. So versus some people do pop-ups, they show 1 movie. No, on Friday and Saturday night, we do 4 movies. So we have one starting on 1 screen at 7:50, the other starting at 8:10, 8:15, and then they go, and then we clear, and then we do it again. So you are 100% right, George, we do that.
So when are you coming to Bentonville?
Hopefully soon. I just got a call from a company that bought all of the closed. A retailer closed about 145 locations, and their company bought all of those locations, and they were going to be demolishing the things and redoing them. But then COVID happened. So they called me yesterday after seeing what Walmart's doing in their drive-ins. And they said, hey, Michael, we're interested in talking about doing drive-ins in 145 at all these locations that we've got. And so, I have a couple crazy ideas now with that. And so hopefully that's something where we can have, kind of anchor locations where we've got socially distant venues where we can do drive-ins and concerts and all kinds of stuff and deal with one entity. So I'm super hopeful that we're able to work that deal out.
All right, Michael, you have presented at 1 Million Cups before, so the final question that's coming your way. What can we as a community do to help you?
Yeah, so the community, if anyone knows if his brother or works at a movie studio, I'm trying to get someone to help me create something that doesn't exist to what I know of, which is hey, Drive-In Dudes wants to play Paramount films or Disney films. They're good to do it wherever they want, whenever they want. We know they're going to pay us. I'm also working on trying to get licensed to be a mobile food establishment. So basically, my trailer, we drive our truck and trailer to the show. The trailer carries the screens and all the gear. I want to have it to where the gear comes out. There's a popcorn machine and that high margin stuff, popcorn machine, candy, and I want to be able to sell that popcorn directly out of my concessions. Since all the food is run through our food platform, we're able to integrate with food trucks and say, okay, people go to one place and I can add their menu here and I can order popcorn from Drive-In Dudes and I can order a hamburger from Pep's Place. So if I can work with local people for them to do what they do, which is sell the hot foods, and then I can control all the really high margin stuff, like the popcorn that you make killer money on, and the candy and the drinks and selling merchandise through there. That is, I'm talking to a few different people about it. From what I've gathered, all I need is some sort of hot cold sink. And the next that I don't have on here would be someone to help talk about maybe managing a rapid growth and rapid scale. Because if I'm able to work out the deal with this retailer, I'll need to have 3 or 4 trucks going kind of at all times. And so managing that rapid growth will be difficult.
Well, that is typically the last question, but I'll go ahead and ask Rachel. Had a quick question and asked if existing drive-ins are actually your competition.
So that's an interesting question, because existing drive-ins are my competition when it comes to licensing. I can't get licensing for Disney films if I'm within 25 miles of a drive-in. And I do think that they are my competition because here, there's not a drive-in for 4 or 5 hours. Like I said, I grew up here and I've never been to one. So there's an element of, wow, this is cool. I haven't been to one. We got to check it out. And now, does it have the same nostalgia or cool factor going somewhere that has 3 drive-ins around? I don't know, but I try. As now, I've been trying to focus on those historically underserved areas when it comes to drive-in entertainment, and just doing those kind of pop-ups in the different locations.
Makes sense. Well, Michael, greatly appreciate you for taking the time to present at 1 Million Cups Bentonville. It was a great presentation. I'm excited to see your growth as you scale and make your way up to Northwest Arkansas. We will welcome you with open arms.
Sounds great.
And just want to tell everybody, thank you very much for tuning in to this virtual 1 Million Cups. Stay tuned for details on our next presenter. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks, y'all. I appreciate it.